Hi guys, it's Marisari Sabagat here. Are you bored and nothing to do? Let me think. Ah, I have a good idea. Why won't you come with me as I enter the world of bar graphs? Are you ready? Good. But before that, we've set some objectives for us to always remember. And these objectives will serve us as our guidance at the end of our journey. First, we must able to identify and define the types of bar graphs. Second, we must learn the uses and importance of bar graphs. Third, we must know how to create bar graphs. And fourth, we must know how to solve sample problems relating to bar graphs. So what are you waiting for? Come and be amazed as we discover the world of bar graphs.
Good day everyone, I am Kalshin Kamalani and I'll be talking about the definition and the different types of bar graph. So before we know on how to apply or use a bar graph, let us first know its definition and its different types. So what is a bar graph? A bar graph or a bar chart is a graph or chart that uses rectangular bars with height or length proportional to the value they represent to convey a categorical data. The bars can be plotted either vertically or horizontally. A column chart is another term used for vertical bar graph. So the most important attribute of a bar graph is its length or height. If the bar graph has a longer length, then the greater the data. A bar graph can be categorized into two broad types, namely vertical bar graph and horizontal bar graph. These groups are further subdivided into various categories such as vertical or horizontal segmented bar graph, vertical or horizontal group bar graph, and lastly, vertical or horizontal stack bar graph. So first, let us define what is horizontal and vertical bar graph. Vertical bar graphs are created when group data is shown vertically in a chart or graph with the help of bars where the bars indicate the data measured. The data is represented on the graph's y-axis with the height of the bars indicating the values. Next, we have the horizontal bar graph. Horizontal bar graphs are created when group data is shown horizontally in a chart or graph with the use or with the help of bars, where the bars indicate the data measured. The data is represented on the graph's x-axis with the length of the bars indicating the values. So now let us define the three types of bar graphs. First, we have the group bar graph. A group bar graph is also called the clustered bar graph, which is used to represent the discrete value for more than one object that shares the same category. In this type of bar graph, the total number of instances are combined into a single bar. In other words, a group bar graph is a type of bar graph in which different sets of data items are compared. Here, a single color is used to represent the specific series across the set. A group bar graph can be represented using both vertical and horizontal bar graph. Second is the stack bar graph. The stack bar graph is also known as the composite bar graph, which is used to separate the aggregates into different portions. Each portion can be represented by a distinct color, which makes it easier to distinguish between the many categories. To illustrate the distinct segments of the bar in a stack bar graph, precise labeling is required. Each bar symbolizes the entire, and each segment represents the many sections of the whole in a stack bar graph. And the third one is the segmented bar graph. The segmented bar graph is a type of stacked bar graph because each horizon represents 100% of the discrete data value and all the bars are the same length. It is also known as the 100% stacked bar graph.
Hi, I am Dajidel Serna and my topic is all about history of bar graph. Let's talk about history, specifically the bar graph history. William Playfair, the Scottish engineer, political economist, and scoundrel, is the inventor of bar chart or graph. William Playfair was born in 1759 and died in 1824 at the age of 65 and developed the first bar chart in 1786. He was inspired by Joseph Priestley's creation of the timeline chart in 1765 as a way of visualizing and comparing information.
Hi, my name is Brandy Norte, and I will be showing you an example of a bar graph. So here is an example problem that uses bar graph for its data representation. The bar graph given below shows the sale performance of Milk Tea Shop in thousand number, which is found in the y-axis, and from 5 branches during the 2 consecutive years, 2020 to 2021, which is on the x-axis. So the blue bar shows the data of the year 2020, while the orange one shows the data of the year 2021. So I prepared a question if you truly understand what bar graph is. So for question number 1, what is the average sales of all the branches for the year 2021? Letter A, 70, letter B, 76, letter C, 81, and letter D, 92. So the answer for that would be letter B, 76. So the average sale of all the 6 branches for the year 2021 are 60 plus 70 plus 70 plus 80 and plus 100, and simply divided by 6. And that's why the answer is 76.
Hi, my name is Reina Beauty Kaitik, and I am here to present to you the steps on how to create bar graph. Steps on how to create bar graph. First, you may create your bar graph through the use of the data that are being collected or being provided. Second, find the range and values and determine a scale. Third, decide on a title for your bar graph. Fourth, draw the vertical and horizontal axis. Fifth, label both axes, the vertical and the horizontal. Sixth, plot the given data. And lastly, draw a bar to determine the total of each item.
Here is an example on how to create bar graph. Let's try to answer the following questions based on the formulated bar graph. As for the first question, find the ratio between the number of third-year students who failed and the number of fourth-year students who passed. A. 9:5, B. 45:28, C. 13:27, and D. 5:9. For the solution, the number of third-year students who failed is 75 and the number of fourth-year students who passed is 135. So 75 is to 135 can be simplified. So the final answer is 5:9. For the second question, what is the average number of students who failed to proceed to the next year level as an accountancy student? A. 105, B. 230, C. 150, D. 95. Add all the given values, 164, 65, and 75. That's 304. 304 divided by 3 equal to 101.33. So the answer is letter A, 101.33.
Hi, I'm Jolene Kapuyan, and I'm going to tell you some of the significant applications of bar graphs. So let us proceed with the common applications of bar graphs. Since bar graphs are easy to interpret, bar graphs are commonly used and applied in data presentation on statistics, research, surveys, business, and personal reasons, and etc. Being able to use, read, and analyze these graphs is a very good skill to have because these graphs are seen all the time in any aspect in the real world. In the aspect of business, bar graphs play an important role in presenting information such as sales information, and are particularly useful when shown to potential investors before they decide to invest in a company. In most cases, bar graph is pivotal specifically to most accountants, since this will be their means to convey financial information to their clients and will be able to compare sales of their the financial standing of the current sales to its previous sales to see if the company is losing or earning. And through the results, actions and decisions will be made. Moreover, people can also use bar graphs for personal reasons such as keeping track of their finances. So, a bar graph is a very useful tool and can be applied not only to big companies but also be applied to our everyday living.
Hi, I am Alessandra Wanlin Mortal and I am the one to summarize our topic. That brings us to the end of our presentation, so giving you the overview of our topic and what my co-mates tackled about. Bar graph is a graph that uses rectangular bars with heights or lengths proportional to the values they represent. A bar chart can be categorized into two broad types, namely the vertical bar charts and horizontal bar charts. The bar graph have three different types: the group bar graph, stack bar graph, and segmented bar graph. The bar graph was invented by William Playfair, a Scottish engineer and political economist. The first bar graph was developed in 1786. A bar graph plays an important role in presenting information such as sales information to customers, employees, and other businesses.
That was awesome! And that, my friend, ends our journey. Thank you for joining Group 4's adventure in discovering the world of bar graph. Keep safe and God bless us all.